Hi guys, Kim here, Design Team Coordinator with Swirly Deuce Kit Club. I've got a tutorial today for you on how to do a mixed media background. A lot of you guys have been asking about how to do the mixed media background. You don't know where to start or you're having trouble with masks and misting and micas. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my layout using some gesso. I use clear gesso to prime my paper so things don't soak in. And then we're going to use some of the Art Anthology minks that we got in the February kit. That color is called Decadent. I'm also going to be using some modeling paste and some bottle green mica powder from Prima we got in a past kit. And that minks, I made a mist out of it last month, so we're going to be using that as the mist. And we're also going to be using paper from the February kit as well, and a lot of the embellishments from the kit. So I'm going to do some masking, and we're probably going to do some stamping as well on the paper. First thing I do is I adhere my paper to a piece of cardstock to give it a little more weight, as well as using the clear gesso on the paper. So I'm just kind of doubling up so my paper doesn't warp. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of it. All right, now I've got that all stuck down and it's a lot sturdier now. Next up, I'm going to use some clear gesso, like I said, and I'm going to go ahead and prime that. I'm just going to throw some on and use a foam brush to go ahead and cover the entire sheet with this. All right, now that that's dry, we're going to go ahead and do some masking. Now, some of you have asked, how do you figure out what mask to use? I like to kind of go with the theme of my layout. I'm going to be doing a masculine layout here, so I'm not going to go for a mask that's got like some florals or anything like that. And here's my picture, and as you can see, there's kind of a brick wall in the back, so I chose this brick wall stamp to go along with it. I like for masculine layouts like brick walls, clocks, things like that. So that's kind of how I pick my mask to do my masking with. Now, what I did, I went ahead and made some marks. I kind of laid out my layout and made some marks as to where things are going to be laid out already. So I'm going to mask around that area. I'm just going to start in some random places, and I'm not going to use the full mask. I'm just going to put it down, but I'm just going to use certain areas. And I'm going to do some modeling paste with it. Now, as you can see, I kind of stuck to the outside area, corners of it, but that's where my masking is. And it looks kind of random. I'm happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and dry it. Now it's all dry. Next up, I want to do a little misting to bring some of that masking out because I use the modeling paste and it's white and my paper is light. So I'm going to use some of the mist that I made with that Art Anthology minks. It's a kind of a sheerish brown color. It's called Decadence, like a chocolate brown, but it's a sheer color and it's got like some gold shimmer in it. And when I do my masking, I always want to have a baby wipe with me. And the good thing about putting the gesso on the paper is the mist is not going to soak into the paper right away. So you can use that baby wipe to go ahead and soak up some areas if you've missed it too heavy. That's the good thing about having that gesso on your paper. And I like using clear because it does not cover the pattern on my paper. So I'm going to mist, and the thing about misting is you need to commit to your mist, meaning you need to completely press down on that plunger, on that sprayer when you're spraying. So give it a good spray. The further back, the wider the mist you're going to get, the closer, the more concentrated the mist you're going to get. So I'm just going to spray and pat a little bit to get the color that I want. And if you want some drips, hold your paper up. Right now, I just want to bring out some of the brick wall masking mist that I did, so I'm happy with it. All right, now it's all dry. Another key to misting is you want to dry your color in between layers. Next up, I'm going to use some of the Prima mica in the bottle green. I want to add some greens to this. And this is a green we got in a previous kit. And what I like about this is once you open it up, you'll see it's got a shaker top, so you've got a little bit of control as far as shaking this out on your page. And I like to shake it on the page and then add water to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and shake some on the page. And now I'm going to spray it with some water. And again, that baby wipe comes in handy. Now you can move this around with your finger. You can use a paintbrush. Now I used a lot of water on this page and I still have no warping, and you can see the greens. I like it, but I still want to add some more to it, so I'm going to use some more mica, but this time I'm going to use some in the form of a mist that I made using the mica powder, but I'm also going to use the mica powder as well. So I'm going to sprinkle some more mica on the page. But instead of using water, I'm going to use the mica mist to give it more color and also give myself some splotches on the page as well. So when I go to spray, you'll see I'll get the splotches. And I like the look of the splotches. And I'm going to add a little water to it and just roll it around. Now that's another dry layer, and I'm happy with the way the green looks, but it kind of drowned out my brown mist, so I'm going to go back in with my brown mist and add some more. Again, remember, you want to dry between your layers of your mist so you don't get that muddled color. So now I'm going back in and just adding a little more brown, and again I'm sticking to the outsides because my center is going to be covered with my layers of paper in my picture and my embellishments. And so I'm just randomly misting a little bit. I'm going to pick up a little bit, but I'm happy with the way it looks, and I'm going to go ahead and dry this layer. All right, so now there's my mixed media background. I've got some masking, I've got some misting, a couple of different layers. I'm going to start to put my layout together, but then I'm going to come back once it's put together and go ahead and add some stamping. All right, I decided to use some of the Prima rub-ons, the adhesive rub-ons that we got in the February kit as well too. I'm going to do a little placement with these, and I'm going to add another layer of mediums with these adhesive rub-ons. Instead of using the foil, I'm going to go ahead and use some embossing powder. And with this, it's going to go over some of my masking. So it's going to look a little distressed because some of it's going to be raised and some of it's going to be flat. So when you use these rub ones, you got to make sure that you get in those grooves because this is not going to be a completely flat area because it's going over some of my masking. As you can see there, it wasn't quite flat. All right, so I've got most of it done. A couple of pieces are going to go under my pictures, so I just want to lay my pictures out to see where my last two pieces are going to go, and I want to make sure that I've got all my rub ones down before I go ahead and do the embossing on it. So I'm just going to place my pictures on those areas where I kind of marked off before I started putting my layout together. That was some of the prep work that I did off camera. So I'm sticking these behind some pictures, just moving them around a little bit until I'm happy where I have them, where I want them. And then once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and adhere them. All right, so now I've got all my adhesive rub ones down, and I'm going to use some embossing powder for this. What I've chosen was some Lindy Stamp Gang Olive Tree Green embossing powder. It's a nice green with a hint of gold to it, so it works really well with our layout with the gold undertones from that Decadent Mist, and then the greens with the bottle green mica powder. So I'm just going to liberally pour that onto the adhesive rub-ons, and then I'm just going to heat set it. And it turns out really nicely. Okay, so there you have it. Now you can see the green embossing powder. Next up, I'm just going to put the layout together. I'm going to fast forward through this because this was more about the background than actually putting the layout together. I'm just going to mat some photos and start to put it together. Okay, so now my pictures are down. Um, Now it's all about sticking some embellishments down. And once I got some embellishments put down, then we're going to start doing some stamping. All right, so now I've got all my embellishments down. I just want to go ahead and do some random stamping. I've grabbed a couple of stamps and I'm still kind of going with this masculine texture theme. So I've got this chicken wire, and I'm using a brown pit pen. I didn't want to use black ink because